All right, I got two lucid dreams last night, and today I'm going to talk about an overlooked factor when it comes to lucid dreaming, an overlooked fundamental practice that I think people should implement. And I think that this practice is as essential as dream journaling when it comes to the fundamentals of lucid dreaming, besides your lucid dream technique. And what this is timing your awakenings, timing your wake back to beds. And if you don't know what a wake back to bed is, you have multiple natural awakenings every single night. And during these awakenings, typically what you'll do, or this is what I do, is that I wake up from a dream and then I write down the contents of that dream and then I fall back asleep. Right. And so you have multiple natural awakenings each night. But one of the things that I discovered is that, like last night, what I did, or here, let me find this. What I did is usually what'll happen is I'll wake up for like 5 seconds, I'll write down the dream, and I'll be like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go, fall asleep and do my lucid dream technique. But this night, what I did is I used a timer to time my wake back to beds for 10 minutes. Right, like I would wake up and I would set a timer for 10 minutes, and I would sit here with my LED lights on for 10 minutes in order to fully wake up my brain, and then I would fall asleep. And I found last night that it was much easier to get lucid. It was much easier to stay concentrated. It was much easier to stay focused on my lucid dream technique, on my lucid dreaming anchor to retain awareness all the way into sleep. And I had a lot of false awakenings last night. And if you don't know what those are, false awakenings are, when you wake up in your bed, you wake up in your room inside of a dream, but it feels like you're waking up from your bed. So I had a lot of that. I had a lot of lucid dream events. I had a lot of glitches in reality. Like I would look at my alarm clock a lot of the time in these scenarios where I wake up in my room. Sometimes I'll look at my clock and I'll see if the text changes, and that happened a lot last night. That's a really good sign. Like if you wake up in your room, or if you're doing a lucid dream technique inside of the dream, that's another really good sign. But I did all that last night, and this is in part due to the fact that I actually timed my wake back to beds, and I found that, and everyone has a different magic number that they're gonna have that fully wakes up their brain. Because like for me, like it used to be like because I would do like the timed wake back to beds in the past, but 15 minutes. I used to do it for 15 minutes, and that was like way too long for me. I would get impatient, but 5 minutes. So sometimes I would do 5 minutes. Like this was like a long time ago, whenever I first started trying to time my wake back to beds. I would do it for 5 minutes, and that would be too little. I'd do it for 15 minutes, that would be too long. But I sort of revisited this, and 10 minutes seems to be the magic number. Where if I'm just patient and I stick through with it, then it'll fully wake up my brain. And this is the thing. This might be like an invisible factor that might be holding you back, and I think that this is a factor that has been holding me back from achieving my true, sort of lucid dream potential, like really mastering my lucid dream technique. Is that it might not even be a problem with your technique. It might not even be a problem with your lucid dream method, right? Your lucid dream technique could actually be completely fine. Your lucid dream technique could actually be perfect, but the problem might be in the fact that you're waking up for like 5 seconds. You're not giving your brain a sufficient time to fully wake up the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of your brain, the front part of your brain, the frontal lobe that deals with critical thinking. It deals with awareness. It deals with questioning, why is there a giant pink flamingo in the sky whenever you're in the dream. So that's the part of your brain that gets you lucid. And whenever you wake up for like 1 or 2 minutes, or you wake up for like 5 seconds and you go back to bed, that's not enough time. And I think that it varies from person to person, because some people wake up fully like really really fast, but some people need time to wake up. And I think for most people, they could benefit from this timed wake back to bed, this timed awakening, because you need time, sufficient time for your brain to sort of warm up, to sort of come online. It's like whenever you turn on like an old computer, and you can hear the fans whirring, and you can hear like the CRT screen sort of coming online, and like the screen slowly gets bright. Like that's what your brain needs in order to start from a fully aware state. And in order to do a proper lucid dream technique, and it doesn't matter if you do a regained awareness, where you use an intent to regain awareness in a future time, whether you're using regained awareness or maintained awareness, where you're retaining your awareness of an anchor, right? It doesn't matter which type of, like which flavor of technique you're using. You need to start with a fully awake brain first. And this was something that was sort of like a baffling to me, because before I discovered this sort of invisible factor, because I didn't think there was a problem with my wake back to beds. I thought it was a problem with my technique, right? But for some reason, I felt like, oh, I can't concentrate on my anchor as much. I can't concentrate on my anchor. I'm constantly distracted with all these thoughts, and I feel like, it feels impossible to focus on my anchor for some reason. But I realized that the reason for that was because of the fact that I wasn't timing my wake back to beds. I wasn't allowing my brain sufficient time to come fully online. You need to start with the fully awake brain primed for lucid dreaming, right? And the thing that you need to realize about this is the fact that it's not gonna fuck up your sleep. It's not gonna, like, your body. You will feel that your body, or physiologically, your body will be tired enough for you to actually fall asleep very quickly after you do this after you do this timed wake back to bed. So that is an invisible factor that I just discovered last night. Like, I got lucid like 2 times last night, and I got lucid multiple times in a dream. I would become aware that I was in the dream, and then I would lose focus, and I would become aware again in another dream sequence. That happened last night, just last night, and that was due to the timing of my wake back to beds. And so that is a huge factor that I wanted to, sort of discuss. I wanted to sort of talk to people about, is that use a timer to find that magic number. Use a timer to find what it is, what it is that you need in order to fully wake up your brain, because that is just as fundamental as a good lucid dream technique. Having a good technique, having a dream journal, right? Like, dream journaling is a must-have, right? And like, these are like the non-negotiables of lucid dreaming. If you don't have a dream journal, good luck getting lucid. It's not going to happen. You need to write down your dreams to have dream recall. You need to exercise dream recall first, right? So that is a fundamental non-negotiable. It's like working out, but you're eating at McDonald's, right? Like, you're missing a fundamental if you're not dream journaling, right? In the same way, you're missing a fundamental if you don't have a proper lucid dream technique. But this is also like timing your awakenings, timing your wake back to beds. That is also something that I believe now is a fundamental, is something that is just as fundamental and just as non-negotiable. You need to do proper awakenings, proper wake back to beds. Like, that might be something that might be like an invisible force sort of holding you back, and you don't know, like, why is it that your mind is so distracted when you go to try and lucid dream. Like, your mind is so distracted, you can't really focus on your anchor, you can't really focus on your technique, and you're wondering, okay, what is this invisible force holding you back, right? And that invisible force is your brain's not awake enough. You need to stay awake longer, right? That is the simple solution that I didn't see before now, right? But and this is related to, like, in the past, I used to do, yet again, I used to do timed wake back to beds in the past, a long time ago. And sometimes, like, by accident, I'll stay awake, or I'll fully wake up. I'll be like that Nosferatu, like, like, for some reason, like, I'll be scared out of a night, like, I'll be scared out of a nightmare or something, and for some reason my brain will be like extra awake whenever I wake up. And during those times, my chances of getting lucid, looking back now, like, with the benefit of hindsight, looking back, the chances of me getting lucid are higher whenever I have a fully awake, fully primed brain for lucid dreaming. Whenever my brain is fully primed with a full awakening, a fully timed, wake back to bed, fully timed, excuse me, a fully timed wake back to bed. You're giving your time brain, you're giving your brain, time to actually warm up, to actually get those critical thinking faculties, those that prefrontal cortex, those critical thinking faculties, the self-awareness, the metacognition, your thought, being able to monitor your own thoughts. That part of the brain needs time to come back online in the proper sense. And anytime you do a lucid dream technique, you need to start off with that brain, with that part of the brain fully online. If it's half online, then it's going to be like 10 times harder for you to focus on your technique. It's going to be 10 times harder for you to retain awareness, to stay focused on your intent to get lucid, if you don't have that part of your brain fully online, right? So you need to have your brain fully primed for lucidity first, right? You can have the best technique in the world, but if you don't have this practice here, right? If you don't have a timed wake back to bed, if you don't give your brain time to fully prime itself, to fully become aware, so that it has the best chance of staying aware, right? You start off fully awake, fully aware first, and then you use the lucid dream technique on top of that, and then so it's those two combined together. It's not just one or the other, it's 50-50, right? In the same way that you can have the best lucid dream technique in the world, but if you have shit dream recall, good luck getting lucid, and if you do get lucid, then you're probably not going to remember it anyway, right? So that is a really important thing that I discovered last night, or I sort of rediscovered last night, and which is that timing your wake back to beds, having a proper awakening. The whole point of you having those natural awakenings where you wake up from a dream and then you go back to sleep to do a lucid dream technique, the whole point of the awakening is to prime that part of your brain for lucidity, on top of the lucid dream technique. So that is something that is just as fundamental, just as non-negotiable as dream journaling, and it's something that if you're like not doing it, right? If you're not doing a full wake back to bed with a timer, you're not staying awake for the proper amount of time that your brain needs in order to start off fully aware, in order to become fully aware, fully awake. If you're not doing that, then that might be an invisible force holding you back from getting loose. And I talked about this in previous videos where it sort of felt like recently that there was like an invisible force holding me back from getting to that next level of results. And I think this is it. It's not my technique. It's not and it's not anything to do with like improper technique or anything. I do think that it has a lot to do with my improper awakenings, with not doing proper awakenings. Like I'll wake up for 5 seconds, dream journal, and then I'll fall asleep, as quickly as possible without priming my brain first for for increased chances of getting lucid. So that is something that I think that people should implement into their practice. And if you're struggling to get to that next level of results, if you're hitting that sort of ceiling or hitting that wall, then that might be that sort of invisible, not often talked about factor that might be holding you back. Is you're not fully waking your brain up during those awakenings. You're not timing your wake back to bed so that you're making sure that you're staying awake for 10-15 minutes. So some people require 30 minutes to fully wake up their brain. But if you're not staying awake for a certain amount of time that's guaranteed to fully wake up your brain, if you're not giving your brain time to wake up, then you're going to be more easily distracted. You're not going to be as concentrated on your anchor, on your intent whenever you do try to get lucid. So this is something that yet again, I discovered it last night. I got lucid extremely easily last night because of this sort of invisible practice on top of a lucid dream technique, is being able to time your awakenings, put a timer and make sure that you're staying awake, letting your brain come fully online, fully aware for a certain amount of time, so that you're guaranteed to start off fully awake, so that your mind is fully primed for the best chances you have of getting lucid, right? So, but yeah, that's the video.